In the headlines, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed vows to totally wipe out the TPLF very soon. Hello and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour from the Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation. With the news, I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed indicates a double-edged warfare has been launched against Ethiopia. Ethiopia right now is fighting diplomatic and actual war against foreign and internal enemies who are desperate to tear the country apart, he said. The premier, in a statement issued on Sunday, said Ethiopia will come out of this situation stronger, defeating all odds. Abiy called on the public not to be confused by the diplomatic warfare launched by the TPLF and its supporters in the West. He instead urged all Ethiopians to join the last fight against the TPLF, which is on the verge of its final demise. The premier asserted that Ethiopia will see dawn, overcoming the darkness that falls on its skies. Abiy described the TPLF a disease that has been inflicting physical and psychological pain to Ethiopians and sucking their blood for close to 3 decades. But he hopes that Ethiopians will get rid of it very soon. TPLF will be history at once with the sacrifices of brave Ethiopians, the premier underlined. Those foreign enemies who are desperate to see Ethiopia fall apart are doing all their best through their lucky TPLF, but will never succeed if all Ethiopians remain solid to protect their sovereignty, the premier underscored. Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen encourages in-person Ethiopian army members and regional militia and special forces based in the Wello war front. The Deputy Premier on the occasion commended the brave deeds of the Ethiopian Defense Force that are destroying the TPLF forces. Though the TPLF stabbed the federal army in the back, brave soldiers have been able to give it enormous payback, Demeke said. Demeke expressed his firm belief that the clique will soon be wiped out with united efforts of all Ethiopians. Ethiopians are standing together to defend from Western intervention in their internal affairs. Rallying against Western interference, they have expressed determination not to let any external force divide Ethiopia. Daniel Kasahun tells you more.
Ethiopians are keen to stand together in order to fend off attacks from enemies. They are united not to let colonizers and fake Westerners take away their sovereignty. Speaking at the rally held at Meskel Square in Addis Ababa, former Army General speculated there is little room for the TPLF terrorists to get opportunities in Ethiopia's internal affairs in the near future. Brigadier General Kasai Chamada accentuated no one allows enemies to enter into internal affairs of citizens and the country as a whole.
ተዋግተው አሸንፈው ድል አድርገው ነፃነታችንን እናስከብሯል።
We have the determination to fend off Ethiopia's sovereignty. However, there were lots of laggards who bent on supporting the enemy forces that are in desperate condition to dismantle coexistence of the country, which is disappointing, and we fought against it. Our ancestors fought against foreign enemies and they won. This is a great lesson to the current generation as TPLF terrorists are doing the same as colonizers which Ethiopia have no patience of.
The terrorist group is working to create distrust and animosity among the people of Tigray and fellow Ethiopians by launching attacks on the neighboring people of Afar and Amhara. General stated Tigrayans have never faced such problems in their history. The terrorist group is forcing the youth to go to war with neighboring regional states for no cause. The youth need to therefore refuse to take orders from the TPLF organized themselves and found the group because the responsibility of protecting the nation and their lives rests upon them, he pointed out.
Amnesty International senior crisis advisor Donatella Rivera admitted that the organization's reports related to genocide, mass rape, and mercenary in Africa are largely based on myths aimed to delegitimize targeted governments. Quote unquote, we Amnesty International and my colleagues had exerted a great time and effort investigating these allegations, and we couldn't find any evidence proving that such things are taking place, especially during the intervention in the Libya crisis, she said. In the Western capitals, public opinion gets credence to this report of genocide, mass rapes, and mercenaries, it was learned. These three myths are what they are because of all the work carried out by Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and other organizations. After we spent time and effort to investigate these allegations, we found no evidence that any of these had taken place. But the fact is that these reports had a very strong impact, Rivera elaborated. The reports and accusations are necessary as a collective memory, as a justification for the intervention in Libya. But 5 years after the war, in September 2016, an explosive report totally unknown to the general public contradicts the official version, it was noticed. By the same token, the then UK Parliament Foreign Affairs Select Committee chairman, Crispin Blunt, said that accusations on Muammar Gaddafi related to civilians' massacre in Benghazi was not proven by evidence. It is to be recalled that the Ethiopian government has been accusing Amnesty International of releasing false and unfounded information regarding the Tigray conflict. Ethiopian Electric Power accuses the TPLF remnants of causing damage to electricity infrastructure worth over $500 million. EEP Communication Director Mogas Makonnen said the terrorist TPLF remnants are engaged in damaging infrastructure, especially electricity lines in Tigray state, to isolate the Tigray people from the Ethiopian government. As to him, the terrorist group members, activists, and apologists intentionally disseminate fake information and fabricated propaganda about the damaged infrastructure so as to confuse the Tigray people and the international community. From the beginning, the terrorist group damaged electric substations, conductors, towers, insulators, and other EEP properties in November 2020. He said the Ethiopian Electric Power has done immediate maintenance on the electric transmission lines to Tigray with an outlay of 240 million birr after the first attack on the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. However, the terrorist group has managed to damage the renewed transmission lines again and caused further destruction. TPLF is continuing its inhuman terror acts and provocations in an elusive attempt to dismantle Ethiopia. The statement comes as Office of Tigray Prosperity Party briefed journalists on current issues in Tigray. Habtamu Ashagri told you more.
This is a recent media briefing from Prosperity Party Tigray branch office in Addis Ababa. Briefing journalists, the Prosperity Party Tigray branch office said PLF is continuing its inhuman terror acts and provocations to regain federal power. Talking to TV, Public Relations Head of Tigray Prosperity Party office, Getachew Nuguse, said PLF never accepts any peace negotiation offers. It has rather decided to escalate attacks and instabilities in Amhara and Afar regions.
TPLF unless you give them the power of the federal power, they don't stop, or they don't want to negotiate. They don't want peace with anybody. So to take the power, to get back their benefits, they can destroy infrastructures, they can kill innocents, they can fight with whatever they can. But the problem is, now the conflict is going on the neighboring Afar and Amhara region.
Unless the federal government swiftly undertakes effective law enforcement operation in Tigray, the TPLF mafias will never refrain from criminal acts, Getachew remarked. Some Tigrayan communities are working along with the federal government forces to settle back problems in Tigray region.
The people of Tigray should stand with the federal government and with their Ethiopian people. And also they have to support with their neighboring people, with Afar people, with Amhara people, and so on. Right now, some Tigray people living out of the region of Tigray are working together with the Defense, Ministry of Defense, and also they are participating in the military. So hopefully the people of Tigray will free from the terrorist group soon.
Some Tigrayan diasporas are living their luxury life by financing and giving lifetime for TPLF cliques, he underscored. This is because every accommodation below of Tigray diasporas is being covered by the TPLF gangs, and this helps them to deny the hard fact on the ground in Tigray.
Some Tigrayan diasporas are living there with the support of TPLF. Some of them are the family of the terrorist group. The country was paying their school fee, their residence, their hotel, every access. So right now they can't get this kind of opportunity because the group is not leading the country, and so they can't find the access. So that's why they only support the TPLF because of this. And some of the Tagaru diaspora, in other way, they are working there, but they don't know the actual truth which is happening here in Ethiopia and in Tigray. So that's why they are making their false propaganda together with the family of the junta or family of the terrorist group.
The party advised the Tigray diaspora as well as other foreign countries to reconsider the TPLF inhuman moves across the country.
Welcome back. You're watching Addis News Hour. Tanzania's Foreign Minister Liberata Mulamula expressed her country's commitment to bolster ties with Ethiopia in various fields. Talking to ETV English, the minister mentioned some success stories of Tanzania that Ethiopia could draw lessons from. Alula Teklamariam has this report.
The deep-rooted relationship between Ethiopia and Tanzania ushered in an era of strategic partnership. The two East African nations now want to scale up their bilateral cooperation in various areas. Exclusively talking to ETV English, Tanzania's Foreign Minister Liberata Mulamula underscored the need to further bolster ties between Ethiopia and Tanzania.
At the bilateral level, we always have exchanges in terms of, because Ethiopia is so advanced in terms of the leather industry. The infrastructure development, every time you come to Ethiopia, you admire how advanced in terms of the infrastructure development, and this is Tanzania, of course, has been learning a lot from Ethiopia. And of course, we have had also exchanges in terms of the technology, in the areas of transport, in the area of tourism, in the areas, of course, the industrialization, but education, culture. So we have many areas, and I was also happy to hear that the Ethiopian government has decided to introduce Kiswahili. You know, with the Ethiopian Airlines that flies all over the world, but Tanzania is, we have reached some mutual agreement to make Tanzania as a tourism destination. And we have designated the Ethiopian Airlines as our tourists. And as you know, we also, in terms of our cooperation, we trained pilots here. Yeah. Yes, here in Ethiopia, we have a long-standing agreement to train our pilots. Ethiopia, they have very deep-rooted traditions and cultures. So we're looking forward to having more cultural exchanges.
As part of the bilateral relationship between the two nations, Ibarata Mulamula highlighted some success stories of Tanzania from which Ethiopia could draw a lesson. The minister underscored Tanzania's remarkable achievement in transforming its political arena, where over 100 of ethnicities have blended in peaceful harmony.
What Ethiopians can learn from Tanzania, it is about celebrating our diversity. You know, while we have so many tribes, I think more than 120 tribes in Tanzania, it has never been a problem. So our diversity has become, in fact, the strength. Of course, thanks also to our leaders. And Swahili, we always say it is a language, but it's because
for farmers to rely on heavy manual labor. In Kenya, a new startup is looking to make tractors more easily available to farmers. Goshu Meliso has more from the CGTN.
For many African farmers, owning a tractor is nothing more than a dream. The world's least mechanized continent farming equipment is unaffordable for most because of low income and a lack of financing. Without machines, production is roughly half the average for the developing world for farmers unable to grow the business. But in some parts of Africa, this is literally changing thanks to mobile phones app. It is ride-hailing, but for farmers, Hello Tractor allows them to hire equipment and operates at the touch of the button.
I feed my kids through this farm. I school them through this farm. I feed my cows with Napier grass, all courtesy of this garden. The tractor innovation and technology is very cheap. It's also tiresome to do all this manually, like bush clearing, and the tractor makes the work very easy.
For farmers in Kenya's Kisii County, this innovation has helped cut production costs while boosting yields. Almost two-thirds of African farmers depend on labor-intensive agriculture, which is time-consuming and doesn't guarantee successful harvest. But the app has been a game-changer for many of them, as well as helping farmers. The app makes owning the tractor profitable as the equipment doesn't lie idle.
Kusema ukweli hali ya uchumi yenyewe sio nzuri, lakini
the Hello Tractor has really boosted our economic state in this area. Farmers here harvest quality food, which helps them in so many ways.
Wanalima chakula ambacho ni kizuri na kimewasaidia kwa njia nyingi.
The app also tracks the movement of tractor, monitors fuel consumption and maintenance, and allows owners to see who is operating the equipment.
A typical farmer who receives tractor services through us plants 40 times faster than manual labor and at 1/3 the cost. Now, keep in mind, these are mostly rain-fed agricultural systems. So what that means is establishing your crop on time is mission critical for the grower. So being able to get your land prepared, get your crop established before the rain comes will determine the outcome of your season. And so having access to a tractor allows you to do that so you can earn more money come harvest time.
The startup began in Nigeria in 2014 and now operates in certain African countries as well as 3 in Asia. 3,000 tractor owners have used the platform to serve 500,000 farmers.
You're watching Addis News Hour, a quick recap of the day's headlines. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed vows to totally wipe out the TPLF very soon. And Amnesty senior advisor admits lies on reports.